celebrating 100 years.
100 years is a significant milestone for any business. But 100 years in the service industry, serving the community in such a meaningful way, is very significant.
But when you think about 100 years, I mean, that's incredible. You know, it's a whole century of doing this.
But especially for a public agency that focuses on water.
It's exciting. It's a good time to be here. It's exciting to be part of the changes.
We're upgrading to the future.
This year, in 2021, West County Wastewater has the unique opportunity, the privilege to look back over the past 100 years and reflect on the accomplishments achieved over an entire century as we celebrate the 100-year anniversary of our organization.
Few people think about wastewater once it goes down the drain. But what happens to that wastewater next plays an important role in living a safe and healthy life. West County Wastewater District is responsible for collecting wastewater, treating it, and returning the processed water safely back into the environment. The process starts with our collection system. A series of underground pipes move wastewater from homes and businesses to our treatment facility. Trash and other solid waste are removed, and the wastewater goes through various biological, chemical, and other treatments to eliminate contaminants.
If we couldn't have where it goes down that sewer and where it comes to our facility, then the public would suffer for it. And of course, we wouldn't want that.
Once this rigorous process is complete and the water passes tests to prove it is safe, the treated water is released into San Francisco Bay or recycled for industry boiler and cooling towers. Every gallon of treated wastewater supplied to these systems saves a gallon of drinking water. Treating wastewater is not only vital to our ecosystem, it also plays an important role in protecting the health of the people living in the East Bay communities we serve. This is one of the primary roles of West County Wastewater District.
Wastewater is one of those things that people don't really think about. You just turn your faucet on or flush your toilet, or everyone will care until it stops working. If you have a backup or something in the street, then people care, you know. But you have to understand, like, if you live in a city of 1 million people, how many people are flushing the toilet, putting water down, pipes every day, and it has to go to one place, and someone has to clean it. Someone make it okay to be put back into the environment.
The district ensures smooth operation of the sewer collection system through continuous monitoring and inspections. Trained staff use high-tech sewer cameras to detect clogs and leaks so they can be repaired before they become a major problem. And employees test discharge from major industries and businesses to make sure that what they discharge to the system meets regulatory requirements.
Overflows are very costly, or they can be very costly. They say the average home flooding is in the 300,000, somewhere in that range. So if we can detect that there's a broken line that could ultimately plug up and go into someone's home, then we might have just saved the district hundreds of thousands of dollars.
By operating the sanitary sewer system, West County Wastewater District contributes to the overall well-being of our community. Along with garbage collection and immunizations, this service helps prevent the spread of disease while improving the health of each and every one of us.
Serving our community in the best possible way, right? That's the reason we exist, is to serve the community and make sure that we protect the environment. So doing that in the best way that we can, given our core values, given direction to be a very environmentally focused organization.
What is now known as West County Wastewater came to be only 16 years after its home, Richmond, California, was incorporated as a city. On December 13th, 1921, 5 men were elected in a small San Pablo schoolhouse by a vote of a mere 61 citizens. This was the creation of the first West County Wastewater Board of Directors. Today, 100 years later, the Board of Directors are still elected seats, but are now filled by 2 women and 3 men.
Our board members are hands-on progressive leaders of the community. One voice representing the district's customers, the public, and its interests. On average, board members have served the local community for 20+ years. Collectively, the West County Wastewater District's board members not only have a vast knowledge of the wastewater industry, but also have various experiences in areas of finance, engineering, and business. The stability of the district is a direct reflection of the decisions made by the Board of Directors and their efforts to provide continuity in service, innovation, safety, and progression.
So 100 years later, we have one of the most diverse elected board members.
In the last 8 years, the Black, Latino, Indigenous women of color on the board says something about this district, but it also says that we're moving in the direction that we just spoke of, in diversity and inclusion and equality. Those lived experiences bring us and come with us, and they inform us when we set policies, when we listen, and when we form our decisions for this district and for our communities.
West County definitely reflects diversity, not just in our demographics, but just diversity of thought, and that's why it is important to have equity in these types of roles. It's important to have diversity of thought because you need to look at problems from different approaches in different walk of life.
So I would say, for the most part, everybody gets along and works well together as a team.
It's a community-oriented type of workplace that has people from the community that serves the community.
We have a very unique culture here.
People are invested in each other and they're invested in each other's success. So I think that's a really great value that the organization has always had.
A regular day is to come into work and see your smiling coworkers and serve as many customers as you can.
My thing that gets me up in the day, that gets me through the doors, is coming here and work with my coworkers. All of them seem to be welcoming, and it definitely does help.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion is important because we in our community, particularly people of color, and I am a Latino, and I'm actually within two different minorities. I am a Latino, but I'm also a gay man. And being able to have our community look at, one, our elected officials, but then the people that work within our agency, they can say, I belong. I can one day be like them. Since I became appointed to the board, we've been doing proclamations, acknowledging different communities, and being able to praise those communities and help uplift those communities. For the first time in our 100-year history, we raise the pride flag and the trans flag in our agency. We raise those flags for that future generation that might be walking by and looking up and realizing that their differences are being celebrated, and they're being celebrated within our cities and our agency, and they're looking at the future.
And I know that the West County has gone through many changes in what its name and what it calls itself. It's evolved over the years. But one thing it has not done, it's changed its focus on public health.
Community outreach, community education is really important to us, not just to protect our infrastructure, to protect our treatment process, but to protect the health of our community as well. We're really proud of what we do, and we're going to continue to do our best. Our pollution prevention program is designed more to educate the community on pollutants of concern for the plant and for the bay. Our main pollution prevention topics are fats, oils, and grease, and wipes. So we created 2 videos along with CD strategies for that have been posted to our website and our Facebook account.
All that stuff that you're putting down the drain, like the butter, the sour cream, salad dressing, and mayonnaise, it hardens over time, and it's gonna cause serious problems for the pipes. It can cause backups, and then even block the sewer lines. Then it involves the neighbors. I mean, this could impact our beaches and waterways. This is the worst thing ever.
All of these things could clog your pipes, or worse, create a backup of your entire system.
And if your system backs up on your property, it could cost you thousands to repair.
A backed up toilet system is not the right look for you. Toss everything except toilet paper in the garbage instead of flushing them. Toilets aren't trashy. Can it instead?
I am definitely changed now.
We are trying to improve health and safety and the quality of life for the people that live within our district. That hasn't changed, and that will remain the same. How we do it and how efficiently and effectively we can do it has changed because we're embracing the new technologies, and there's a lot that we can do now that they couldn't do 100 years ago. But fundamentally, we're here doing the same job.
In 1955, a 6 million gallon per day treatment plant was constructed in Richmond. At that time, the San Pablo and Richmond area had experienced a population boom during World War II. Women, men, and families flocked to the shoreline towns to work at the deepwater ports during the war. Even after the war, when the shipyards closed, there were new industries coming to the area, representing industrial labor production including welding, aircraft, engineering, automotive companies, and an oil refinery, West County Wastewater's neighbor and partner still today, Chevron Richmond Refinery. Over decades, West County Wastewater has continued to grow and improve by expanding the wastewater treatment plant in the early 1970s, partnering with the City of Richmond and building administrative offices in the 1980s. In the mid-1990s, West County Wastewater went through a major remodel of the operations building and laboratory and emphasized the importance of the environment in its processes. In this century, West County Wastewater has continued along a path of repairing, replacing, and keeping all systems running smoothly.
Here we are moving into sort of the next century of West County Wastewater, and we're going to do it with a whole different set of infrastructure and approach to how we manage this resource going forward.
My hope for the district is we really continue to move forward on capital projects and making sure our infrastructure is the top of the line and high quality and be in a state of continuous improvement.
It's a process that's really never finished, but we're creating a transformation and a process that will allow for more inclusiveness, more ideas, and more change, and be more adaptable to them in the future. And that's really what we're trying to do, is both improve our infrastructure and our facilities so that they're more adaptable, more reliable, more resilient. And that's the same thing with our workforce. Make sure they get the support and the training they need, but also make sure as part of that training, they're understanding how they interact and they work with each other. We are first responders, and what we are here at West County Wastewater is that we're a public works organization. And when there's a disaster, when there's a problem, we're the first ones there, and we're the last ones to leave. And moving into the next century of operations for West County Wastewater, we are changing how we look at the workforce and what that looks like from a diversity, equity, and inclusion standpoint. We're taking a look at our infrastructure and making significant changes in that infrastructure, from the Clean and Green project to all of the other collection system improvements and facilities improvements that are coming out of the capital improvement program.
This organization puts a lot into professional development, and that's really important for the culture because it always shows that they care about our development, but also about continuous improvement.
As we approach the significant anniversary, a new and important emphasis has been placed on the culture of the organization. By centering our focus on our climate, our community, and our culture, West County Wastewater has begun to see a new kind of success, not only in the work we produce, but success in our people. By cultivating an environment where equity and diversity is expected, people thrive. They are encouraged to express different ways of problem solving and creative ways in which to be successful. Meanwhile, that success is evident in the recent bond sale, which afforded funding for a major upgrade project that will begin next year and will bring the organization closer to its goal of becoming carbon neutral with clean water and green energy.
The North Richmond Horizontal Levee Project. So a horizontal levee basically is a living levee that provides an upland slope rather than a sea wall. It's a horizontal slope that allows some of these species to migrate to higher ground as sea level rises, and also provides a transition zone for wetland restoration and protection of the environment. So it's a much better way, or a much more environmentally friendly way to protect against rising seas. So a couple of things that the project is going to do besides just provide sea level rise protection is part of our grant that we have through the Restoration Authority is to help provide better access to the shoreline for the community. Acting now is imperative. So this project is really important, and it's going to provide protection for our treatment plant. It's going to improve public access to the shoreline, have community benefits to the Bay Trail, and it's going to help provide some migratory slope for some of these native grasses and native species to be able to continue to thrive.
And looking at the future, we know that we can generate electricity, we can generate energy out of just everything that you're flushing down the toilet.
Our Clean and Green project is a significant improvement in our infrastructure, and again, in the way that we do business, in this way, in the way that we treat our waste.
So now we're going to be able to create energy to power our plant and our offices. That's powerful, and that's the leadership that your current board has been doing and working on with that future thinking, and you could be part of that and of the next 100 years.
Our goal is 100% of our water that we treat to be recycled, and we're very close to that right now. Most of our water goes to recycled water use, either for use in the boilers and the cooling towers at the Chevron refinery, which is right down the street from us. So our goal is to continue to work toward that, to have 100% reuse of our water.
The community is really important because we're working for them.
So I would like to thank all of our staff, from those that are no longer around, that were around on day one of our agency, to those that are still around today, to those that are yet to be hired. Thank you for being part of our agency. Thank you for your day-to-day work. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your thoughts. Thank you for your hard work and getting us where we are today. We look forward to working together for the next 100 years and for the future of our community. Thank you all.
As 2021 comes to an end, we celebrate 100 years of hard work in an industry which is as essential as it is unknown to most. We are proud to look back over this significant stretch of time and see how very far we have come. As we look around at the people who hold this organization steady and the leadership of our elected board of directors, we are grateful for the roots that have been put down before us and know that West County Wastewater will be firmly in place for decades to come.